Hi everybody, today's target is choosing which measure of central tendency is the best for the type of data that you're working with. So you're going to have to extrapolate or figure out what you want and then determine which one is the best. Again, the measures of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. Range is not a measure of central tendency, neither is the outlier. It's always just about the middle data, so mean, median, and mode, the ones that start with M. Let's get it going. So recap, you should be able to get this without any trouble. If you need to pause and reread, reiterate, do what you need to do, pause the video, make sure you know how to find the mean, median, and mode. Even if there's more than one median, or no modes, or multiple modes, what do we do? Talk about it, say it out loud, read about it, pause. Thanks for taking the time to make sure you know those words inside and out. We are going to choose the best measure of central tendency, mean, median, or mode, with proof of why. We're going to gain knowledge. Oh, how cheesy was that? Gain knowledge. We're going to make sure how we go over this choice and the information that we need, and it's up to you to talk it over with your seminar mates or whoever you're watching with or by yourself to decide with your proof. So absorb this knowledge. Please pause the video, read and reread after I read it to you. When you're choosing the best measure of central tendency, you use mode when your data is not numerical. Examples would be surveys of what's your favorite cereal, your color, what brand of shoes do you most enjoy, what's your favorite chapstick. Median, there's going to be outliers. So whenever there's an outlier, you want to use median for your best measure of central tendency. So example would be if you would earn an allowance, what that would be, what the number would be, or the age in the room, including myself. So I obviously make it older by quite a bit if you were to include me in your data, so that would skew the mean. So you want to make sure you use median if there is an outlier. And you use mean when there are no outliers. So for example, age, if you're just talking about your peers, those that are in the same age bracket as you, then you use mean. Test scores, you might have mean or median depending if someone went way above and beyond or way below. So usually there are outliers in test scores, and everybody does awesome. Like on this next test, you use the mean because there will be no outliers, right? Yeah, you got me. Pause the video and reread that. Write it down. This is very, very important. Write it down. Thank you. All right, so when is choosing mode the best? Whenever you choose mode, your data is not numerical. Numerical means numbers. So if you have non-numerical, like movies, colors, food, political candidate, your best measure of central tendency will be the mode because it represents the data that occurs the most. The mode will give you the decisions from a general population. You may have a tie, you may have more than one mode, or you might have no mode if everything occurs only once or multiple times. When is the median the best? So the median is the best if you're dealing with numerical data. Numerical means numbers again. If there's outliers. Outliers, those numbers way above or below the data set that skew the rest of your data in the one direction or another. So if you have an outlier that's way above the rest of your data, it's going to increase your mean. And if you have an outlier that's way below the rest of your data, it's going to decrease your mean. So your numbers aren't exactly going to be accurate. Middle of the data, that's your best measure of central tendencies. The one that's around the middle is usually the mean, unless again you have the outlier. And then you're going to get rid of those outliers and use the median. It'll give you a closer approximate than if you use the mean, again, because those outliers definitely skew your data. When is the mean the best? If you're dealing with numerical data, again, that's numbers, and you have no outliers, you want to use the mean because it's going to be the most accurate. It gives you a closer approximation than median or mode because it gives you the exact center of your data, the exact middle. Mean is exact middle, unless you have outliers, and then you want to use median. So here are some questions with answers. So you want to choose the best measure of central tendency. If the question was, in the past 4 of your test scores were 93%, 92%, 38%, and 89%. Looks like you have an outlier, an anomaly. Your 38% isn't your usual score. So you wouldn't want to include that because that would make your mean go way down, and it wouldn't be a best representation of what you've done in the past. So you would use median, and the median would be the best because, again, it's numerical data and you have an outlier. Giddy up. Mean, median, mode. If you wanted to ask what's the average age of your classmates, you didn't include your teachers, just your classmates. The mean would be the best due to its numerical data, so you're dealing with numbers, and you have no outliers way beyond in either direction. So your best measure of sensitivity would be the mean. If you were asking what time you got up in the morning and you asked all the students, median would be the best because there are always outliers. So there are kids that live way beyond our borders that have to get up super early in the morning, or due to living situations, or they have to get up and beat their big sister to the bathroom, something like that, so they get some time. Age is a difference, and travel time, how long it takes you to get to school. So since there's going to be outliers, you're going to want to make sure that you would use the median in this sort of data. How you get to school. If you're thinking about planes, trains, automobiles, how you get to school, the best choice would be the modes. If you wanted to see how most people get to school, you're going to be using the mode because there would be no numerical data. They would choose like on a survey, bus, plane, train. Yeah, I'd take a train. I'd take a helicopter to school. No, I don't. I drive. But you don't. You probably ride the bus or get dropped off by mom or dad. So mode would be the best because there is no numerical data. So when you're dealing with non-numbers, like answers, you would have mode as your best measure of central tendency. Like, what's your favorite color? You'd use mode. What's your favorite food? Mode. All right. This one, how many times does an average middle school student exercise in a month? You're always going to have those super exercise fanatics that exercise at least once a day, if not twice or 3 times. And then you're going to have the people that don't do any exercising unless they are made to. So those 2 types of people that enjoy or dislike exercise would be outliers. So you're going to want to use the median because that's the majority of your people. And since you're dealing with the number of times it is numerical data, that's why you wouldn't use mode. You use median because it is still numerical data. If you have questions, please make sure you see me. Let's talk about them. Your recap question is, what are the measures of central tendency? Did you say mean, median, and mode? You should know how to use those, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for being here.